Good afternoon, sports fans. Here we are at beautiful North Scott High School in Eldridge, Iowa. Here for a regional playoff matchup between the Pleasant Valley Spartans and the North Scott Lancers. North Scott comes in with a record of 32-4, facing the home team, despite playing at North Scott with a record of 23-15. The Pleasant Valley Spartans come in. On the hill tonight for the Pleasant Valley Spartans is Holly Holting. Holly is an 8th grader and is waiting to join her teammates at the high school. But despite her age, she is ready and enthused to begin the regional semifinal. And she begins the game with a strike. Batting in for the North Scott Lancers is number 4 center fielder, senior Sherry Huber. Sherry lines it over the center fielder's head. That one's going to the fence. She's going into second base. She's standing up with a stand-up double. First pitch, base hit. North Scott begins the game right where they want to be. Runner in scoring position with nobody out. North Scott with the runner on base might try to move the run, get her to third base. Stepping in for bunts down. Throws the first. Hold on 1 second. The umpire at second base called for time for the pitch. Quick recap. Sherry Huber began the game stand-up double, and up to bat now is Kelly Schimpf, second base senior. Steps into bunt, lays it out foul. North Scott is coached by Dennis Johnson. That one's ripped down the third baseline. That's going to play to run. Into second base comes the runner. In a matter of 3 pitches, North Scott has gotten 2 stand-up doubles and still is back in business with Victoria Hawley, the shortstop, stepping up to the plate. Victoria is a sophomore shortstop. Shows bunt, gets it, goes over the backstop. As you can plainly see, the backstop, North Scott is very rich in tradition as far as softball goes, with 3 state championships, won in '87, '93, and '02. They would like nothing more than to get back to state with a couple more victories. Victoria watches that one go high, evens the count up at 1-1. Shows bunt, fakes, then runner goes third, and she's in there. Time is called. Count runs at 2-1. Runners on third base. She could come home just as easy with the pass ball as a base hit. That one skied to second base. Popped it up. My name is Brian, and this is a Family Ties Productions brought to you on Mediacom, Channel 19.
Up to bat is number 14, Jenna Higgins. She's a 12th grader.
Jenna's a senior. She plays third base for North Scott. Watch the call strike down the middle from the 8th grader, Holly Holting. Counts 0-2, 1 away. That one's hit back in the middle. That's going to play another run.
Base hit.
Just like that, North Scott goes up 2-0 in the top half of the first inning. North Scott has seen everything that Holting has to offer with 3 hits in the first 4 at-bats.
Stephanie Schmidt is up to bat.
Line shot caught by the third baseman. She hit it right in the button, but just right at the third baseman. Now with two-way, runner still on first. Taylor Bender trying to keep the rally alive. That one's pop foul and out of play. Two-way, two already in the top of the first inning. She watches the low ball. Count runs to 1-1. That one's ripped down the third baseline. Runner's heading into third base. Play at third. Not in time. Runner heads into second base. Here's the play at the plate.
Safe.
She's safe. Excellent base running by the North Scott Lancers helps them score their third run, and the runner moves into third base. It's a hot shot up the bat of Taylor Bender.
With a triple.
Pleasant Valley is a little right now. You notice the noise. It is a standing room only here at North Scott High School, located in Eldridge, Iowa. Some would call God's country. North Scott is the MAC champions, the Mississippi Athletic Conference. These two teams played last week, and Pleasant Valley gave North Scott one of their 4 losses this season. And it was the same pitcher, Holly Holting, who did show the North Scott Lancers. I think revenge is on the mind of the Lancers as here we are in the top half of the first, and scores 3-0. That one's taken low.
Can't tell.
Another base up the middle, and there comes the 4th run of the inning. The hot bats stay alive for North Scott. Dana Drummond, right fielder, a junior, gets another base hit to keep the inning alive for North Scott, jumping all over the Pleasant Valley Spartans. That one's pop foul and out of play.
Brittany Yost, senior this year. Outfield. Left field.
And play across the plate, play across the field, it goes to first. And the fielder's choice, but not before North Scott comes to the plate in the first half of the inning with 4 runs on 5 hits. And just like that, it's 4-0 in the regional semifinal playoff action in Iowa High School State playoffs. And we'll be back in a minute.
Can't tell.
Huh? That's Kelsey. I look at it. It's number first. Kelsey Weindruck, second batter.
Oh, okay.
I got him right in there. Second, third, fourth.
Kelsey Weindruck up, the senior infielder, third base.
Hits the shortstop. 1 up, 1 down, just like that. 1 pitch, 1 out. Pitching for the North Scott Lancers, Brianna Haycraft.
Holly Holting, the 8th grade pitcher, and up now.
Holly would like nothing more than to help herself out after the top half of the inning.
Strike.
She sees what the pitcher has to offer and takes a first pitch strike.
Swing. And miss.
Just like that, counts 0-2. Stands and field are lined with North Scott fans and Pleasant Valley fans. This is an excellent show of And just like that, strike three, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and she's put away. As I was saying, both right and left field lines are lined up with North Scott and Pleasant Valley fans, eager to watch their teams win.
Kayla Wells, the senior center up.
That one's lined into center field. So with 2 out, the Pleasant Valley Spartans got a little something going.
Sydney Houston, the center first baseman.
Cleanup hitter Sydney Houston up to bat, running on first. That one's taking a little high.
Wow.
Swung at, foul to the backstop. Pleasant Valley is coached by Lori Osterberg. Lori is a former North Scott grad and also head coach, trying to revive the Pleasant Valley program. Pleasant Valley played Saturday night against Dubuque Senior and won 7-3 at Pleasant Valley High School. Crash delivery. Just a bit outside. Runs the count to 2-1. That one's hit right there in the pocket. Left fielder Yost keeps it in front of her, make sure that the run doesn't come home or doesn't advance anymore, and just like that, with 2 outs, they're doing a little bingo bongo, and they're keeping the inning alive, first and second, and 2 away. A little 2-out rally.
Lynn Roll, the junior right fielder, comes up.
That one is lined. Oh, that was a play by the right fielder.
Nice catch.
She came in a little bit and misjudged it, but with her height was able to catch it on her tiptoes. And just like that, after the Spartans try to rally with 2 outs, we get to the first inning, and the score is North Scott 4, Pleasant Valley 0. Leading off the top half of the second inning, catcher Casey Norton hit it to the shortstop deep into the hole. She was unable to throw out the catcher. Just like that, 1 up, and we got a runner on first. North Scott's rallying in the top half of the second inning. Getting a little confused because North Scott is the visiting team. Due to the flip, North Scott became the visiting team, and Pleasant Valley is the home team, even though we are playing at North Scott High School. Now batting for the Lancers is Sherry Huber, senior center fielder. Sherry led off the game with a stand-up double. Shows bunt, takes back. Sherry's a senior, and I don't think she's ready to go home yet. She wants to keep her playoff hopes alive with a win tonight. Possibly go for a regional championship. The regional championship is on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Shows bunt, gets it down. Third baseman corrals it and gets the runner first. But she did her job, sacrificed herself for the team. Moves the runner into scoring position for the number 2 hitter, Kelly Schimpf. action. Looks like we might have a pitching change. And we are going to have a pitching change, and we're going to let her throw a few brief warm-up pitches, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
It's Emily Hemming.
Here we are back in North Scott. We have a new pitcher. That one's fouled back to the catcher, and she's all over it. Records out number 2.
That was Kelly Shimp.
So I was saying, we do have a new pitcher back into the lineup for Pleasant Valley. Her name is Emily Hemming. She's a junior. I think Pleasant Valley coach Lori Osterberg was trying to throw off the North Scott Lancers, switching from a righty to a lefty. One's hit to shortstop. Corrals it, throws it first, and that retires the side. North Scott was unable to play to run the top half of the second inning, but after 1.5 scores North Scott 4, Pleasant Valley 0. We move to the bottom half of the second inning. The Pleasant Valley Spartans are going to be here leading off with Emily Hemming. Emily Hemming just came into the game, recorded 2 quick outs, and now she gets the chance to step up to the plate, try to get her Lady Spartans back into the game. First offering is popped up. Holly's all over it. 1 pitch, 1 down. One away.
Casey Meyer, the center fielder, the 8th grader, up to bat.
Katie's another one of the slew of 8th graders that Pleasant Valley has in their lineup. The young Spartans are getting a lot of experience here in this season and in the playoffs. Friends count to 0-2. That offering's bid outside. Again, I'm Brian Medina, and this is a Family Ties production. We appreciate your viewing this regional matchup, and just like that, 2 up and 2 down via the strikeout for Brianna Haycraft. Now batting is Kaylee Bucher. Kaylee's playing second base. First offering is popped up. Third baseman's all over it. 3 up and 3 down, and through 2 full, score is North Scott 4, Pleasant Valley 0. Hey, give me a Pepsi too. Here we are in the top half of the 3rd inning. North Scott with a 4-0 cushion, trying to add on to their lead. Batting for the Spartans is cleanup hitter Jenna Higgins. Waits on the changeup, swings, and it's out. Bang bang play at first base. Cleanup hitter showing off her wheels, but not in time. 1 up and 1 down.
The first baseman, Stephanie Schmidt, a junior, now up.
Shows bunt, watches the strike. Emily has come into the game and retired her first 3 batters in succession. Put out the fire for starter Holly Holting. That one is checked on and fouled down the first base line. It is Monday, July 13th, 2009, regional semifinal. Runs the count to 1 and 2. One out in the top half of the third. That one's fouled off. Count stays 1 and 2. Shows bunt, takes back, swung on, foul back. It is 7:30 p.m. and the shadows are beginning to cast across the field.
Oh.
That was just a bit inside. Stephanie Schmidt is a junior playing first base for the Lancers. Coached by Janice Johnson, assisted by Paul Atkins and Bob Reinhardt. The winner of tonight's game will match up against either Bettendorf or Dubuque Hempstead. That one's watched at, and she's on first base, trying to get something going with one out. Now batting for the North Scott Lancers is Taylor Bender, DH.
Senior.
That one's lined into center field. Center fielder gathers it up, throws it over the first baseman's head.
Stephanie slides in, and she's safe.
Schmidt was standing on first, nearly standing on first base. I don't know what the center fielder was thinking, trying to double her up, but in doing so, they move a runner to scoring position. That one's a shot off the base of the fence. Run's gonna come home. Dana Drummond steps into second base with a stand-up double, adds on to the Lancer lead, makes it 5-0 here in the top half of the third inning. She hit that ball on the button, nearly cleared the 200-foot fence here out of North Scott.
Brittany Yost, the senior left fielder, is up.
It is Monday before the All-Star game, and it's the home run derby. You almost saw our first home run of the night. She missed it by inches. That one's fouled off the right side. Count runs to 1-1 with two-way here in the top half of the third. Again, North Scott 5, Pleasant Valley 0. It's a changeup right at the middle. Not in time at first. Run is going to come home. First baseman wasn't paying attention and let the runner come all the way from second base. She was moving on the pitch, but the first baseman, Holly Holting, wasn't paying attention on the plate at first. And just like that, the heady Lancers get another run, and they make it 6-0 here in the top half of the third.
Casey Norton
popped up to the right side. Batting for the Lancers is Casey Norton. Casey is a senior catcher. A senior-laden group of Lancers put on the field by Dennis Johnson. Swung out and missed. Shows bunt. That one's taken high. Here comes Hemming's offering. Change-ups taken outside. She's not too happy with that call, neither are the Pleasant Valley faithful. It's another shot for Casey Norton to bring home another run, though. That one's lined into center field. Keeps the rally alive. Just like that, the bats stay hot for North Scott. Runners are on first and second. Two away for leadoff hitter Sherry Huber. I've just been informed that across town, Bettendorf leads Dubuque Hempstead 3-0. So setting up a possible MAC championship in the regional. Kayla Neighbor takes first base for the catcher. A courtesy runner. First pitch to Huber is taken for a strike. Two on and two out. That one's taken high. Evens the count 1-1. Mighty North Scott leads Pleasant Valley 6-0. Trying to add on a little more for pitcher Brianna Haycraft, who is through 2 innings in a masterful game, staying ahead of the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Yeah, wind up pitch. That one's fouled off the right side. Line to short. Takes the easy one at second, but not before North Scott can play 2 more. And through 2.5, the score is now North Scott 6, Pleasant Valley 0.
Chloe Miller, the shortstop, 8th grader, coming up next.
Chloe made a nice play to end the top half of the third. Now she gets to come to the plate and try to get something going for Pleasant Valley Spartans. First delivery is taken for a strike. Runs count to 0-1. Brianna Haycraft thus far has done her best to keep Pleasant Valley off the base path. Second delivery is taken for a strike. Moves the count to 0-2. Chloe is another one of the soon-to-be freshman 8th graders that they have in their lineup. 1, 2, 3, 3 strikes, and she's out. 1 up and 1 down.
Kelsey Weindrich, the senior 3rd baseman.
Kelsey batting leadoff for the Spartans. Trying to get something going with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 3rd. She lines that to center field. Huber corrals it. No big deal. She backpedaled a little bit and got under it, and just like that, we've got 2 outs. Nice play by the senior center fielder. Hit it to the deepest part of the field, but just not enough. Now batting is Holly Holting, 8th grade first baseman. Holly began the game as the pitcher.
I wanted the water.
Was relieved. Hits the one that gets it by the second baseman. I thought we were going to have a play at first, but Holly sped into first base, and with 2 outs, Pleasant Valley's got a little rally going. Now batting for the Pleasant Valley Spartans is the catcher, Kayla Wells. That one's line to the backstop. Runs count to 0-1. Coach Lori Osterbrick's trying to get something going with one out. Runner on first. The delivery. Swung and missed. Runs the count to 0-2, two-way. Haycraft's trying to get her North Scott team back into the dugout and get a couple more swings. That one's popped out to Yost, and she gets it in foul territory. Just like that, North Scott retires the Pleasant Valley bottom half of the third. And as we head to the top half of the fourth, scores Pleasant Valley 0, North Scott 6.
Sydney Houston, the new pitcher, senior.
The score 6-0. Pleasant Valley is a third pitcher into the game. That one's fouled off the batter. Runs the count to 1-1.
Kelly Shemp, the batter, senior second baseman.
Pleasant Valley going to try to keep North Scott down to just those 6 runs and maybe make a little bit of a comeback here in the last 4 innings of play. Sydney's a left-handed senior. Trying to keep the hot bats of North Scott down. If you're watching, this is Mediacom Channel 19, and this is a Family Ties production. I'm Brian Medina, accompanied by Christian Esparza. Delivery's taken high. Runs count full. Batter Kelly Shemp thinking either hit or walk. That one's foul back to the backstop. She's making Houston work to retire here. Making her throw a few pitches. Welcoming her to the game, you could say. That one's taken high. She works her for the walk. We've got a runner on first, and shortstop Victoria Hawley steps in. North Scott again got a little rally going. They've had a runner on in every inning thus far. Shows bunt, gets it down. Pitch throws the first and retires her. Hawley sacrifices herself for the team, moves her runner into scoring position for cleanup hitter Dana Drummond. Oh, excuse me, Jenna Higgins. North Scott is keeping the pressure on the young Spartans. I'm sitting in the North Scott dugout. One out and a runner on second. Higgins hits the shortstop, throws across. We've got our second out of the inning. Now before a runner moves to third.
Stephanie Schmidt, the junior first baseman, comes up to bat.
Who is it that's batting?
Stephanie Schmidt.
Stephanie is a junior at North Scott High School. Got a runner on third, count of 1-0. Top half of the fourth. Shows bunt, pulls back. Trying to play a couple mind games with the pitcher. Again, shows bunt. That one's inside, runs the count to 3-0. North Scott has had little to no problems with the Pleasant Valley pitching staff today. That pitch is watched for a called strike. Counts now 3-1, hitter's pitch. Back to the pitcher, she gets it. And Retired. Bottom half of the fourth. Score remains the same. North Scott 6, Pleasant Valley 0.
Sydney Houston leading off.
First pitch is watched for a ball. I've just been informed via Stat Tracker that score for Bettendorf and Dubuque Hempstead is 3-0 in favor of the Bettendorf Bulldogs. That game is in the bottom half of the fourth. Not to jump the gun on any, but it looks as if North Scott might be looking towards a battle now against Bettendorf. They're crosstown rivals. Just like that, Haymaker stays ahead. Count runs to 1 and 2. That one's popped up deep. Yost is under it. Just like that, we got one out. And by Haymaker, I've just mentioned she's been throwing haymakers. Her name is Brianna Haycraft. I apologize for the mistake. My inexperience may be showing. I apologize.
Lynn Ralston, the junior right fielder.
First pitch is swung at and missed. What has Ralston done so far today?
Play softball.
Second pitch, take a little bit outside. Count runs to 1-1. Playing softball. That's an excellent observation. That one's pop foul. Into the North Scott fan section. This is a very strong showing by both schools, Pleasant Valley and North Scott. Both schools should be saluted. Not only for their sportsmanship, but for their play on the field. Pleasant Valley had a playing game Saturday night against Dubuque Senior and won 7-3. That one's popped up. Huber, can of corn all underneath it, and just like that, we got 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fourth. That was no problem for senior Sherry Huber. Just like that, it's 2 up and 2 bound.
Alicia Clemmy, the senior left fielder, comes up.
Trying to get something going with 2 outs here in the fourth. It's in the Pleasant Valley fan section, and it's caught. They're out enjoying the game and paying attention as well. That one's fouled back beyond the backstop. Again, we're at Eldridge, Iowa, home of North Scott High School. That one's taking a bit outside. That one's dribbled to second. And just like that, Brianna Haycraft retires aside. 1, 2, 3, and through 4 complete. Our score is North Scott 6, Pleasant Valley 0. And we're back. Who is it that's batting, Mr. Sparza?
Tell you in a second.
That was Taylor Bender, and she lined a hit to left field. One pitch, one base hit, one base runner, and again, North Scott has got something going here in the top half of the fifth.
Dana Druman, the junior right fielder, comes up.
Coach Dennis Johnson calls for time, trying to get another one of his Lancer players with some action here in the regional semis.
Dana Shooter comes in to pitch run for Taylor.
Dana is a sophomore at North Scott. North Scott High School is located at 200 South 1st Street in Eldridge, Iowa, zip code 52748. I only know this because I'm reading the program and they list their address. Trying to eat up some time. Batting for the North Scott Lancers, Dana Drummond. As you can see, our cameraman Jess Medina is panning the crowd. Excellent showing by Quad City sports fans. It is a full crowd, no seating available. A lot of school pride being shown. While we have a brief stoppage of play, I'd like to tell you that these games may be purchased by contacting Jess Medina. After the game, there will be a phone number and possibly an email address and how to get in contact with him. It's the only way we'll be able to stay on the air is with your support, and we do appreciate it. Umpire's making sure he dots his T's and crosses his I's. It's 7:54 p.m. and dusk has begun to set in, and the lights are on out here at North Scott. That one's bunted foul. Coach Denny Johnson trying to keep something going here, trying to move a runner into scoring position. Mr. Johnson is not afraid to make every batter in his lineup throw it on a bunt. That one's laid down perfectly. Throws the first in time. Just like that, we got one out. And North Scott moves another runner into scoring position. As soon as the runner gets on, Coach Johnson is looking to move him over, making sure the next person in the lineup is given a chance to bring her home.
Brittany Yost is up, the left field senior.
That one's fouled off behind the North Scott dugout. Pitching is Sydney Houston, the third pitcher of the day for Pleasant Valley. That one swung at and missed. 2 strikes on 2 pitches. Standing in at second base is Dana Suter. That one's taken just a bit low. That was swung at and fouled off. A little confusion here. I believe the umpire is saying that she swung at it and missed it, and it just hit her in the shoulder. I just made that up. No, she swung at it, fouled it, hit herself in the shoulder, and the coach was there to check on her. That one's lined into the gap. That's going to
Drop.
bring home another run. Ball's all the way to the fence. She's heading for third. We're in a little bit of a pickle.
Tag. Out.
She tags her. I believe if the runner would have continued to run, she would have made it to the third, but she saw the third baseman hustle after the ball and ran back to second. It was a nice hit into the gap, plating another run, moving the score to 7-0 for North Scott. Might I ask who's batting?
Casey Norton.
Casey is a senior catcher for the Lancers. Swung at, fouled back to the backstop. That was a nice play by the third baseman. Took the runner all the way back to second base. No throws, taking away all possibilities for a mistake. That strike is taken, and count runs to 1-2, 2 outs. That one's taken low. Two's across, 2-2, and 2 outs. That was taken low again. Count runs full. Sidney Houston Sr. is on the hill for Pleasant Valley. That one's taken right down the pipe. And just like that, North Scott plates another run, and as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning, score is now North Scott 7 and Pleasant Valley 0. Here we are back in North Scott. Katie Meyer hits it to second base. Second base all over it. Not in time. Wide of first base. Katie slips and falls. She's on first via the air. It's a hot shot to second base. She's unable to corral it. Throw is wide. The runner stays at first. And just like that, Pleasant Valley's trying to mount a little bit of a comeback here in the bottom half of the 5th. Trailing 7-0. Hope is not gone. They can mount a little bit of a comeback. They've got 9 outs still yet to play. That one's taking a bit inside.
Kaylee Bucher up to bat, sophomore second baseman.
I'm sorry, who was that that's batting? You said Kaylee Bucher?
Yes, I did.
Kaylee's a sophomore. Slaps at that one, fouls it off. Coach Lori Orsterberg is trying to get something going. Pleasant Valley is coached by Lori Orsterberg and Dave Hemming, Amy Labarge, and Steph Peterson are all assistant coaches. Trying to help out with this upstart Pleasant Valley program. That one's lined back to the backstop. Lori was a North Scott, she was a North Scott alum and also head coach. I don't know if you noticed or not, but there was a pitching change. And now into the game for North Scott is Taylor Bender, the tall, lanky Taylor Bender. Tries to keep the score at 7-0. Swung at and missed. Taylor takes her down, 1 away. Brianna Haymaker-Haycraft through 4 innings was successful in retiring the Pleasant Valley Spartans, surrendering 0 runs through 4 innings. Holly takes it and goes first, gets the fielder's choice. She retires the second batter of the inning.
Kelsey Weindrick, the senior third baseman, comes up.
Kelsey is trying to keep her high school career alive. It's a foul third base side. Kelsey is one of the few seniors that Pleasant Valley has in their lineup. Pleasant Valley is a very young team with, I'm not sure how many 8th graders, but quite a few 8th graders in their lineup. As I look at the program, there are 7 8th graders that are on the team.
6 8th grade.
Weindruck awaits the offering. That one's hit deep. Foul and caught by Yost on her tiptoes at the fence. Pleasant Valley tried to mount a little bit of a comeback, got a runner on, but was unable to score a run against Bender, and through 5 complete, the score is North Scott 7, Pleasant Valley 0. Here we are in the top half of the 6th. Leading off the top half of the 6th is leadoff hitter Sherry Huber. I'm starting to regain my hearing. The standing room only crowd just delivered a Lancer cheer, L-A-N-C-E-R-S. Lancers, Lancers, Lancers. The excited North Scott crowd. Sherry Huber on the shortstop. And just like that, she's retired. 1 up and 1 down.
Number 3, Kelly Shimp, the second baseman senior, is up to bat.
Here we are in beautiful Eldridge, Iowa. The lights are on. It's a regional semi game, and we have a standing room only crowd. There's no greater place to be in the Quad Cities right now than watching girls high school softball. We've got 1 out, and Houston's trying to keep North Scott bats down, trying to keep her team within striking distance. North Scott coach Dennis Johnson's hoping 7 is enough for his pitcher Taylor Bender. That one was a nice play across the diamond. 2 up and 2 down. It was a nice play by Kelsey Weindruck.
Victoria Howley, the 10th grade shortstop, comes up.
10th grade as in a sophomore?
Yep.
That one's foul tipped. That one's taken low. Counts 1-1. Delivered by Houston. Lined up the middle. That's going to be a double all the way to the fence. Holly ripped it right over the shortstop's head. She's standing up and she's on second base. And just like that, North Scott, like they have for the first 5 innings, has got something going. Runners in scoring position for the cleanup hitter. Cleanup hitter is Jenna Higgins. Jenna's a third baseman and she is a senior. That one's fouled off the third base dugout.
The records.
Pleasant Valley comes in with a record of 23-15. Very good record for a very youthful team. North Scott trying to add on to their state championship hardware with a record of 32-4. As you can see, they have 3 state championships, and Coach Dennis Johnson would love to add a 4th this year. North Scott's very balanced, good pitching, good hitting, good fielding. And that pitch is watched for strike 3. North Scott gets a runner on second, but is unable to bring her home. And through 5.5 innings, the score remains the same. North Scott 7, Pleasant Valley 0.
Holly Holting, 8th grader, first baseman, number 16, is up to bat, leading off.
Who's pitching for North Scott?
Taylor Bender.
Taylor is a senior at North Scott High School. That one's bounced back up the middle. Holly eats it up, throws the first in time. Excellent play by the sophomore shortstop. And the top half of the inning, she showed off her bat. The second half of the inning, or excuse me, the bottom half of the inning, she shows off her glove. Excellent play by the sophomore. Just like that, behind Taylor Bender, there's one up and one down.
Kayla Wells, the catcher, senior.
Here we are at beautiful North Scott High School. The lights are on. Excellent facilities. You see in the distance they have a baseball diamond that also has lights. Coach Lori Osterbrick trying to get something going here in the bottom half of the sixth. Knows the time is running out for Pleasant Valley Spartans. That one dribbled up through the middle. Over the head of the first baseman. She's only going to be able to stay at first. Kelly Schimpf gobbled it up, tried to make a quick throw to first. Not in time. Pleasant Valley's got a little bit of a run going here, trying to keep something going. Coach Laura Osprey asked for time, is going to get herself a pinch runner. Now batting for the Pleasant Valley Spartans is Sydney Houston. She's a senior pitcher trying to help herself get her team back into the game.
Sarah Schumacher is the pinch runner.
Taylor Bender is into the game, entered into the bottom half of the fifth. Taylor's trying to keep the score at 7-0. That one's taken for a called strike. This not being a save opportunity, in the major leagues this would be called a hold. Trying to preserve the win for pitcher Brianna Haymaker-Haycraft. Hoping I just coined a nickname for Brianna. That one's taken outside. Count runs 2-1. One away in the bottom half of the sixth. Houston trying to help herself. That was fouled the backstop. Counts 2-2. Taylor Bender eyes in and delivers the pitch. Swung on and missed. Gave her the high heat, and it was too much for Sydney Houston to handle. Just like that, there's two away in the bottom half of the sixth inning.
Number 8, Lynn Ralston, junior, right fielder.
Lynn is a junior at Pleasant Valley. That one's taken for a called strike. That one's popped up to Yost. Yost is under, can of corn, and she retires aside, helping out a pitcher Taylor Bender. After 6 complete, our score remains the same. North Scott 7 and the Pleasant Valley Spartans 0. That first pitch is hit foul.
By Stephanie Schmidt, first baseman, junior.
Stephanie is a junior Lancer. Just been informed this game will be on Wednesday at 5:30. I'm just guessing that no North Star fans will be watching this game, seeing as they're going to be playing at 7 o'clock. That one's right by the shortstop. Unable to corral that one is Chloe Miller. And North Scott, again, like they have in the first 6 innings, are back in business. Runners on. My guess is Coach Dennis Johnson might be thinking bunt like he has every other time. Try to move that runner, a little small ball. And again, shows it. Bunts down, throws the first. In time, sacrifices herself to the team. We've got 1 out, and a runner again is in scoring position.
Dana Drummond, number 13, junior right fielder, is up to bat.
Dana is a junior Lancer. That one's hit just outside the third baseline. All over that pitch from senior Sydney Houston. We've got 1 on, 1 out. Top half of the 7th inning. Houston trying to keep North Scott at 7 runs. That swing and the changeup is missed. Count runs to 0-2. What has Dana Drummond done so far today?
A lot. She's been in right field.
Interesting. On second base is Stephanie Schmidt. That one's hit to third, gobbled up. Nice play across the diamond. Now there are 2 outs. Houston trying to keep it at 7-0, trying to give her young Lady Spartans a chance to possibly pull off an upset in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
As Brittany Youst comes up, senior left fielder.
Like I was saying, this game will be on at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, July 15th. If North Scott should win, they will play Wednesday, 7 o'clock, July 15th. Either way, this game will be available to be bought. And pitch is taken inside for a strike. But we are planning on being here on Wednesday, July 15th at 7 o'clock to witness either Pleasant Valley or North Scott. Not trying to sell Pleasant Valley short, but thus far the North Scott pitchers of Brianna Haycraft and Taylor Bender have kept the Pleasant Valley bats silent, and just like that, a base hit right up the middle plates the 8th run of the day. Brittany Yost saw a good pitch from Houston and hit it right back up the middle, and the 8th run of the game is in for Coach Dennis Johnson.
Casey Norton, the senior catcher, comes
That one
up.
swung at and missed. North Scott has been all over everything that all 3 pitchers have had to offer, and that one's bounced through the first and second baseman. There's another base hit. And just like that, with 2 outs, North Scott keeps the rally going. A big rally going. And top of the lineup comes up, and Sherry Huber, senior center fielder. Not only are the North Scott players up to the fence, they are up on top, hanging on the fence. Very excited about their 8-0 lead and possibly playing for the regional championship. The regional championship game will also be videotaped by FTP Productions and Jess Medina. And I also will be here, Brian Medina, to bring you another excellent high school game from Eldridge, Iowa. And as I ramble on, the count runs to 0-2. And there are 2 outs in the top half of the 7th. Score 8-0.
Sherry Huber.
Huber takes a pitch inside, paints the black, but not before North Scott is able to add on to the lead. Pleasant Valley Spartans head to the bottom half of the 7th inning with score 8 of North Scott and 0 Pleasant Valley. Here we are in the bottom half of the 7th at North Scott High School. Pleasant Valley heads into the bottom half of the 7th, trailing 8-0 to the mighty North Scott Lancers. Taylor Bender trying to win their regional opener, it being a regional semi. Pleasant Valley had to play a play-in game to reach this point in the tournament. North Scott, through 6 innings, has shut down the Pleasant Valley Bats and leads 8-0. Taylor Bender is on the hill, trying to close out the shutout and trying to close out the regional semi victory. A possible matchup against Bettendorf High School. That one's fouled down the first base side
by Alicia Clemmy.
Count is 2-2. Clemmy is up to bat. That one's taken low and in the dirt. Count's full. Lori Osterberg here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, trying to keep her young Spartans eyeing the prize, make sure that they know that 8 runs is possible. And just like that, there is a base runner for Pleasant Valley. 1 up and 1 person on. It's going to take a few more hits off of mighty Taylor Bender, but the first hitter in the lineup is able to reach base. With nobody out in the bottom half of the 7th inning, Pleasant Valley is trying to make a little bit of a comeback.
Katie Meyer, the 8th grade center fielder, comes up.
Katie Meyer, another one of the 8th graders in the Pleasant Valley lineup.
Taylor Roderick, the freshman pinch runner.
That one's lined into center field. Huber's all over it, throws the second, not in time. And just like that, we've got 2 runners and both are on base via the base hit. Sherry Huber was all over that play, but just not in time. An excellent coaching decision to bring in the pinch runner. She reaches second base, and we've got 2 on in the bottom half of the 7th. That one's taken a bit outside. Runners are both going to move into scoring position. North Scott has shut down the Pleasant Valley lineup so far this game, but with nobody out in the bottom half of the 7th, Pleasant Valley is trying to make a little bit of a run. Time is called. The North Scott Lancers are trying to keep their eyes on the prize. Both those runners, to be honest with you, mean nothing, but the runner at the plate is more important than what is going on in the base pass. They need to retire their next 3 batters, and it doesn't matter if those 2 runs come home because they own themselves an 8-0 lead. The senior-laden group of Lancers, I'm sure, knows that those runners at the base pass are not important, and the runner at the plate is the one out that they need. Taylor Bender brings her delivery. That one's fouled on the first base side, and it's taken for the first out of the inning. Stephanie Schmidt was able to take the weak pop-up over the first base side. Just like that, we've got 1 out.
Chloe Miller, the 8th grade shortstop, comes up.
He's taking a bit outside. Larry Osterberg's Pleasant Valley Spartans trying to make a little bit of a run in the bottom half of the 7th. That one's taken for a high ball. Counts now 2-0. That Around the pipe, called for a strike. 2 runners are in scoring position, trying to break the shutout here in the bottom half of the 7th. That was taken low. 3-1 hitter's pitch. 1 away. North Scott with an 8-0 lead. Behind Taylor Bender is trying to keep their thumb down on the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Earn themselves a victory and earn themselves a chance at. That one's taken high. That's ball 4. Bases are loaded.
No swing there.
The appeal is to the umpire. Just as the home plate umpire called, no swing. And with the bases loaded, rule is first and second less than 2 outs. Infield fly will be into effect, and that is what we have right now. That's a called strike.
Chloe.
Bases loaded, 1 away. Swung at, foul to the backstop. Runs the count to 0-2. Taylor Bender trying to retire the second out of the inning with the strikeout. That one's low in the dirt. Gobbled out by the catcher. Nice play by the backstop, Casey Norton. That one's taking a bit outside. North Scott faithful unhappy with the call. Count runs 2-2, 1 away. Bases full of Spartans. Taken in the dirt. Again, nice play by catcher Casey Norton. Full count. 1 out. Infield fly into effect. Lori Osterberg wants to see a hit or a walk, bring the first run home. Bender's delivery is hitting the gap. That's going to bring home a couple Spartans. 1 run is in. Second run comes home. She's got her armor wailing. 2 runs are in. 3 runs are in. Pleasant Valley is not done yet. Score is now a 3. A nice hit in the gap by Kelsey Weindruck, the senior third baseman, trying to keep her high school career alive. The play was sitting in the gap, and Sherry Huber pulls up a little lame. We're going to have a brief timeout as their coach tries to see what is the problem. And we're back here in the bottom half of the 7th. Coach Dennis Johnson wants to stop the rally. He's seen a little too much. Pleasant Valley loaded the bases, and Kelsey Weindruck lined a deep fly all the way to the fence, plating 3 Lady Spartans. And Lori Osterberg's young Lady Spartans are not ready to give up yet. Scores 8-3. Coach Dennis Johnson brings in Brianna Haycraft, trying to shut down the Spartans in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Holly Holton, the 8th grade first baseman, comes up.
And now with the runner in scoring position, Holly Holton steps in, trying to keep the rally alive through 6. Pleasant Valley was unable to play to run, but here in the bottom half of the 7th, Pleasant Valley has brought in 3 runs, and both sides are screaming, want to see something happen. Call's taken for a strike. This is about the loudest high school softball game that I have ever witnessed. I have not seen this kind of fan support through any game that I've ever been to, and this is definitely something to be proud of for both high schools. Haycraft's delivery. Taking a bit outside, runs the count to 1-1. Whole team's trying to keep her season alive. Score 8-3. Count 1-1. One out. Weindruck's ready to take off in a dead sprint, sitting on second base. Change up, swung at, missed. Runs the count to 1-2. On the double, Sherry Huber was shaken up a little bit, but did shake it off. As I can see her in center field, her pants are a little torn as she threw the ball in from shortstop, or excuse me, from center field on the double by Weindruck. That one's fouled back into the parking lot. Counts 1-2. It's 8:35 p.m. Clock is yet to strike midnight on the Pleasant Valley Spartans. That one's popped up. Second base is all over it. And just like that, second out is retired. We've got 2 outs.
Kayla Wells, number 9, the senior catcher, comes up to bat.
Kayla's trying to keep her high school career alive. That one's taken high. That one's lined in the right field, and it's caught! Dana Drummond is all over it, and just like that, Pleasant Valley put a little bit of a scare into the North Scott Lancers, but was unable to pull off the rally in the bottom half of the 7th inning, but nothing to be upset about. North Scott and Pleasant Valley played an excellent high school softball game. The score ends with North Scott prevailing 8-3 and is off to the regional championship where they will face either Bettendorf or Dubuque Hempstead. I am Brian Medina. This is a Family Ties Productions. I was accompanied tonight by Christian Rivera, and North Scott will be playing Wednesday, July 15th for a regional championship. Thank you and good night.